Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Empowering Voices. Today we have a special guest, Laura Gmeinder, all the way from United States, and we have a lot to say. And welcome, Laura, first of all. We are very happy to have you here. And today we start from the word I have embroidered on my T-shirt. If you're listening to this on the podcast, you cannot see it, but the word I'm carrying on myself today is thrive. And it's perfect for Laura because I was reading your bio on your website, and really, you have done everything. And you've been thriving in several fields in your life. So I really want to invite you to introduce yourself, what you do, and why you do it.
Thank you so much for having me here. As you shared, my name is Laura Gmeinder, and I just had like a little bit of the nervous laugh right when you said I've done everything, because I really had, I think it's been almost like 12 years ago now. I was in such a different place, right?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have necessarily felt like I was, someone that had done a lot of things, let alone like with the word on your T-shirt being thriving. I was not thriving. I was surviving, right? And it didn't feel good. I was in a corporate role. Yeah. I had a college internship that turned into a job, and I kind of jokingly say I was floating through life. I didn't make a lot of decisions.
Although you started very early. I mean, from another perspective, probably people were saying, oh, wow, lucky you, right?
Yes.
But as you were saying, you didn't have the chance to choose.
Yeah. And so, right, like it's the story we tell ourselves. Like, I got a job before I was done with college. Like, how wonderful is that at a time where a lot of people were struggling? So it was wonderful. And I had amazing coworkers that were like family, and I did learn a lot, and it supported me to get more involved in the community, to really step up as a leader. And then as I was doing that, it was such a contrast to how I was feeling about my job. And so I really started looking for different opportunities, because I almost felt like I was in the wrong life. Like, I didn't like my job, and personally, I wasn't really thriving either. Like, I had this narrative, this story, right, about how my life was going to be. And then it wasn't like that. And also, instead of having that gratitude, that feeling lucky, that looking at all the things that were going well, I was like,
you probably couldn't see you probably didn't even have a vision, or it wasn't clear enough for you to push you and thrive. And especially if you didn't like your job and you felt a bit out of place. I mean, it's not easy to have a vision or not to see yourself there for the rest of your life, at least.
Yes. And I thanks for bringing that up, because I think that that's such a huge point of thriving, of making those changes in life, is to have that powerful vision that's going to pull you forward. And I couldn't have that because I didn't even know myself. So as much as I knew where I wasn't the right spot, I had no idea what that future self, what that life I would love, that work I would love, what that looked like. And so I did spend some time, starting to work with a coach and starting to set goals and starting to think about what might that look like. And I did at the time look at a lot of different jobs, getting some of those emails in your inbox, and it's like, oh, does this sound like this would be something that I would love to do? And there wasn't really a lot of opportunities that really got me excited to even apply for them. And so that's when I started thinking about starting my own business, because I knew I started to get an idea of what I was good at and the things that were really exciting me, that were energizing, that really made me feel like I was thriving. And what would that be like to create a business around that?
Yeah, that's amazing, because to have a passion is the first fire, that you feel inside yourself. And then to transform that passion into something more tangible on the long term is the bigger fire. But nonetheless, you stayed in the corporate world for several years, because I don't know, but I ask you, but when you are in a position like this, you even feel like, do I give up? I mean, I have a job, but do I really want to complain? So it's difficult to let it go for the security it gives you, right? For
Absolutely.
the feather pillow.
Security, right? Because I was in HR, so
Yeah.
I sat on the opposite side of the table as the person, getting their job eliminated, getting fired, right?
Yeah.
So like I knew more than anyone the realities of that false security.
Exactly.
Getting the paycheck.
Exactly, even more. So
Absolutely.
not easy decision. So tell me, you were saying, so when you started discovering your strengths and your passion, and you understood at least on which path you had to stay. So then what happened?
Well, it was kind of starting to build up some new skill sets and start thinking about what was possible from the time I thought I might do it to the time I did it. There was kind of a lag, but it was also time that I really needed to build up new skill sets. For example, I started going to coach training school, and I did more leadership development. I sat on the board as the president for my women's 300-person organization, which that was a priceless experience for me to run an organization like that. And then also to really be tapped into support women in the community, and then also to see where they were with their career journeys, right? Especially the women that were ambitious, that were wanting to make that step up, that were also, starting businesses, and what that really looked like for them.
Yeah, but you definitely had the experience on your own skin.
Yes.
And for sure it was a very good starting point. At least you understood the struggles or the emotions involved in all the process.
Yes. Yeah, so I think it really is taking a stock of what you already have, because one of the things that I had kind of forgotten about was my college degree was in adult education. So a lot of training and curriculum development. And then what does that look like now in my business? Right when I had started my business, I had reached out to a local organization that had a community open space where they had people come in and share their experience. And so I had reached out to see if they would want to, can I share mine? Like I learned all this great information in taking that leap and being willing to make that change. And they said, yeah, come on in. And it went so well that I ended up adding to my business, being a motivational speaker. And I had no intention to do that.
I told you that you did everything. The thing is, you didn't stay there waiting for something. I think that this is very important to say, because from what you are saying, every opportunity was something you grabbed, because you had that need, that curiosity to understand where was your your passion, where it was taking your future, because eventually, I mean, we want to live a life where we wake up in the morning happy to go to work, not the terrible thing where, oh my goodness, another day, I need to leave this job or whatever, right? So, and you started, when you take an opportunity, several others come up as well. And,
absolutely. You don't find yourself, you create yourself. It's like every day investing your best self. And like, what are you doing? Is it energizing? Do you love what you're doing? Like, is it aligned with your strengths, right? That intersection, what you like to do and what you're good at.
Exactly. Because I've met many people who, I don't know, recently she's an engineer by academically, because her family was a family of engineers, but she's now a fashion designer, and she's thriving. So eventually it will take time, but we need to get there. Most of the time, I also found out that maybe the dreams that we had when we were children were very, were a surprise to investigate later in life. I don't know if it worked for you as well in this way. What did you want to be when you were a child?
Well, I see it, I go back to some of the experiences I had as a child and the entrepreneurialism, right? So my dad owned his own business, and so I was supporting him, like answering the phone and taking messages when a client called. And when I was very young, I had gotten an idea to sell rocks. Like these, the pretty little rocks. And so I even had done that. And one day my mom came out and saw little quarters in my thing and is like, what is going on here? People are buying all these rocks from her. And turns out I had been telling, so we lived right down the street from a hospital, and on their breaks, the nurses and doctors would walk around the block to get some fresh air. And I had been telling them if they bought a rock, that one of them, it was a raffle, and one of them would win a cruise around the world. And my mom was like, if you say that, somebody needs to win a cruise around the world. And I was like, but I don't have money to give someone a cruise around the world. And she's like, then maybe you don't have a raffle as an opportunity if they buy a rock.
But look, very creative idea, amazing. The seed of the entrepreneur was there, definitely. That's really funny. Yeah, we have it. And normally we have to take this wisdom again outside to understand where we are going, definitely. Yes. Because for whatever reason, cultural or I don't know, practical, we make decisions in life, right? And not always are the right ones. That doesn't mean that we failed or anything. We can always start again with something that makes us feel butterflies in the stomach, right?
Yes.
I always like to ask my guests if there's a word or a sentence or a quote that you like to consider a bit of like your mantra or a support for what you do.
Yeah. Right now I'm really focused on less doubt, more action.
Action, because if we don't move, we can have all the dreams, right? And we have been educated to be dreamers and chase our dreams. But if you never grab your dreams, they stay dreams. So action all the time. Yeah,
absolutely.
I like it.
Absolutely.
Excellent. I just want to remind everyone that all the contact to reach out to Laura are in the post, in the bio, in the description in the podcast. Everywhere. It's very easy to reach out for whoever would need a life and business coach. So with a great experience also in the corporate world. So thank you very much, Laura, for being here. It's been a real pleasure and very exciting to know your story. And I leave you, everyone, and see you next week. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.